Phase Hero, episode 86, but we're still here. Thank you so much for the two to start us off, Eric. Phase Hero is punk rock. Anyone who's worked in a restaurant understood the 86 joke. Anyone else, you should work in a restaurant to be allowed to work in restaurants. BD here. Thank you, Eric, for starting us off with Jenna Anderson.
Hey, everybody.
We got Jamie Drack.
Good morning.
We got Aaron Perrine.
What's going on, BD?
Oh, just ready to talk with my friends about some Marvel, DC, Wicked, Star Wars, Naked Gun, Freakier Friday, and Eyes of Wakanda. This is where it's finally going to happen. The end of today's show, we're going to talk about Eyes of Wakanda. That will include spoilers. It'll be a official Phase Hero review of the latest Marvel animation entry. I will say nothing more about it. You have to stay and listen at the end. How's everybody feeling in the we've all had over a week now to gather our lives post Comic-Con. How's everybody holding up?
I miss Comic-Con.
Same.
I had an even crazier week after Comic-Con. So yesterday was my first day to sit and do nothing, and it was amazing. I watched 5 movies yesterday. Until now. Yeah, it was great. Just on my couch, living. I texted Aaron the other day, and I was like, I've only watched 4 movies since Comic-Con. This is terrible. So yesterday, I made up for it.
I dream of having time to watch 5 movies in a day.
Well, you just need one free day, and then you can watch 8. 8's kind of the number you can get in one day if you really try.
It's like 17 hours worth of, well, I guess depending on what you pick.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you had a good day. It's going to be a good day right now because Phase Heroes Live. We got Hannah, we got Troy, we got Tom, we got Eric, everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for hanging with us. W. Eric's in the chat for kicking us off with the 2. The biggest story of the week here, we got to come right out with this, is Spider-Man. I mean, goodness gracious, Spider-Man has dominated the feeds. Spider-Man made some official reveals, and those preceded just an onslaught of set photos and videos, which usually we don't acknowledge this stuff. This isn't spoilery stuff, what we're going to talk about. We're not going to show it. I'm sure you've all seen it, but there's just no avoiding this. It is everywhere. And honestly, it's awesome. Spider-Man in a practical suit. The official reveal had Tom Holland in the suit saying, let's get to work, or are you ready? And then he goes to film. But then they got on the streets of Glasgow, and Tom Holland is wearing the Spider-Man suit. His stunt double is also in a Spider-Man suit. And the images coming out of these Glasgow streets, I'm about to hop on a plane and get there just in time for them to wrap up filming out there and miss the whole thing. It looks amazing. What do you have you guys? Everybody's seen this, right?
I didn't even think about it of this is something we can't touch on or talk about because it doesn't feel like a traditional set photo video experience. I feel like they kind of knew that filming practically in these streets with this costume would get people's attention and would be kind of free marketing for the movie. So I'm glad that they took that approach with it. I think the suit looks great. We'll talk about it more specifically, but it's wild and crazy to just see the photos that are coming out of it. If people are this is if Spider-Man existed in the real world.
Maybe even spectacular, says Judon Foster. I understood that reference. But yeah, these Aaron, Jamie, what do you guys think of all these videos and photos?
I think it's cool. It's the suit does not need to be saved. That'd be silly. It's going to be in trailers and everything, and it's a way to get people excited without giving much away. That was Friday was just kind of crazy. I didn't know I'd be waking up on Friday and being dumped with so much Spider-Man news, and it was fun. It was just it felt like kind of a return because it's been a minute since we've had a fourth installment, since we've gone back to a world we've been in a lot, and it's nice. I'm pro.
I mean, it's weird because I'm not as high. The ending of No Way Home is my least favorite part of the entire movie. It's what? But
what do you mean?
I'm sure people are happy. Yeah. I don't care about the suit stuff. God bless. I think I'm the highest on the MCU Spider-Man trilogy on this panel. And
I love it.
I was I don't know. I just remember walking out of there, and God bless Chris Killian. I hope you're listening somewhere. Was thank you, finally. And I just don't feel like that. So, but I know that it'll get people excited, and maybe I think that's more important than anything else. People are stoked. People are stoked about
I am people.
Minute details.
I think it looks. I love that we're getting this footage. Some of these photos and videos look so professional that you think they're actually planted photographers. I mean, there's one photo of Spider-Man standing like on top of a van that literally looks like a comic book cover to the point that people are putting the logo on it and making it look like a comic or a poster. It's pretty unbelievable, and I think it's awesome they're capturing this in camera. We have a quote about this, but there's one video that shows Spider-Man swinging on a crane, a big blue rig that I assume is blue because they're going to digitally take it out, but they're capturing Spider-Man in camera swinging on the Glasgow streets. I saw somebody seemingly from across the pond commenting on how I pronounce Glasgow. I don't know. I just go with whatever they call Drew McIntyre's finisher or his headbutt, Glasgow kiss. That's the only time I've ever even heard the word used. But yeah, Destin Daniel Cretton, formerly of Shang-Chi, who I think is a tremendous director, also worked on American Born Chinese, a show people rave about, is capturing Spider-Man swinging in camera. And Jamie, this quote from John Watts I think is hilarious.
Oh yeah, I will. This is from about a year ago, right? He said, "I have a very practical bit of Spider-Man advice, and I think every Spider-Man director goes through it." Explained Watts. "It doesn't look good when someone is just swinging on a rope. You think you're gonna go in there, you're like, we're gonna do it all practical. We're gonna get a stuntman. We're gonna be swinging around. It's boring. It looks dumb. It looks like a monkey swinging on a vine when you put someone on just a rope. Don't waste your time." That's my advice to the next Spider-Man director. Listen, this is hilarious because I see why he would say this, but it's gonna be hilarious when we all watch this movie and we're like, this rules, this is awesome, because then he was wrong. It's okay to be wrong, and you know what, we haven't seen the movie, maybe he's right.
I've had faith in Destin, like as Brandon was saying, his like hand-to-hand combat in his movies and the fight choreography. And I think they brought the Shang-Chi fight choreographer over to this movie. Like, I had no doubt that they would do stuff practically that hasn't necessarily been done in the previous movies. But yeah, it is just funny, even just seeing like the very guerrilla set videos of the swinging and people bringing up this quote in relation to that.
I mean, I'm not going to dog on John Watts for the quote. I believe he meant it when he said it, and he believed it. And I'm a big fan of John's Spider-Man trilogy. But I hope Destin is proving that quote to be wrong. I just find it to be ironic that this is circulating a bit, given how excited we are. And then this is the one thing John said not to do. But it's just kind of funny. I've had full faith in Destin as well.
Also, Destin's face in some of these photos that have like come out, like the paparazzi photos, like you can see him behind Tom just like smiling ear to ear. And it's like, I am excited that he is excited. And like, you can tell it's like a proud dad moment of like, oh my gosh, I'm bringing out this costume and everyone loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think of the suit?
I think it's good. I loved the suit at the end of No Way Home. I had hoped that we wouldn't get rid of it and was worried that it would be more of a dramatic kind of change. I like that there's the kind of the raised webbing to it, because people have pointed out of like, is he taking that from the other Peters and kind of carrying a part of them in his new suit? I think that this is kind of just like meeting in the middle of all of it pretty well. I'm excited to see more of it.
I think it looks cool. I'm going to be the first to admit, though, I've seen Tom Holland Spider-Man movies a lot. Like, I've watched these movies a lot. If you had just shown me this picture, I wouldn't have known it was different. I like genuinely, like, I just like, my brain doesn't clock that kind of thing. Like kind of like Aaron in terms of like, it, like, I don't dislike any kind of suit change or whatever, but like my brain's just like not there. It's not comprehending those visuals a lot.
Well, the webbing is like now out. It's like built onto the suit, and the logo looks more in line with like some of the bigger previous live action iterations of Spider-Man, whereas Tom's was typically very small and comic accurate in a lot of instances. I mean, there's been different logos in comics too, but
I knew I could see it absolutely. Like when you just have to point it out to me, like it's all.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I can see it now. I'm not like blind. I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't know.
It is almost the exact same suit from the end of No Way Home. He actually does take basically Tobey and Andrew's logo and his own logo and smushes them all together to make his. If you look at Andy Park's concept art from the last suit, from the final swing suit, it's gold too, to like kind of like take some of his previous stuff along with it, which I really like. But yeah, I mean, like other than I guess maybe toning down the blue a little bit, it's almost like a dead ringer for the final swimsuit from him in front of Rockefeller Center, which I know Brandon was like, why wasn't he in Hawkeye? But yeah, I'm happy people are happy. You know, I'm happy people are happy.
It is definitely the blue is definitely way darker than it seemed to be at the end of No Way Home. Like that was a very bright blue.
It was the light, the weird spotlight stuff on him that caught.
Yeah,
it looked like almost like dazzle mesh or something. And I was like, well, if we're gonna do that next time, that's gonna be amazing. But I understand why you wouldn't want to do that. He stands outside for 5 seconds. It's a little bit hot, and you have like Spider-Man sweat web stains going on right here.
Is there set photos that answer Funko Pop's question? Do we know if he has a spider on the back?
He does.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. And it's even more reminiscent of Andrew's spider on his back.
Interesting. I don't remember off the top of my head. And I've looked at all these photos. I'm not going to lie. But I don't remember. Where you see a cool new Spider-Man suit, I see a Hot Toys figure waiting to be added to my collection. This thing is going to be sick. Oh my gosh. I hope it comes with explosions. But this is hardly the only Spider-Man news of the week. I mean, the cast has grown tremendously in the past week. And we got Mark Ruffalo officially confirmed. Well, like confirmed as far as trades reporting goes. Marvel didn't say it, but the trade said it. Michael Mando's bringing Scorpion back. Last appeared in Spider-Man Homecoming. John Bernthal's Punisher. It's crazy that we are in a time where we're seeing Spider-Man swinging across Glasgow and John Bernthal filming the Punisher fighting people in the New York City streets, literally on the same day. And Punisher is then going to go jump and be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And so, I mean, a lot of this was expected. I think Scorpion was the biggest surprise of some of this. At least I don't think I had heard that one before. But we also have Jacob Batalon said he's going to be back. Zendaya is going to be in it. I think we have a few more people confirmed for this one. I don't remember off the top of my head.
We have Sadie Sink in her mystery role.
Oh, that's right.
That everyone is speculating about and no one seems to have a consensus on. So the Hulk of it all is nice to finally have that be confirmed, because I know we talked about it on the show, I feel like months ago when it was first starting to be reported on, because it felt like too specific of a rumor to not be true. And I'm glad that it's finally out there. I think it is crazy to have like a Sony produced Spider-Man movie that has this many other MCU toys in it. And I'll just echo what we said when we talked about it last time. I hope that it's Savage Hulk. I hope it's not Smart Hulk.
Oh, anything but Smart Hulk. Put the symbiote in Hulk.
It's going on Bernthal or Scorpion, one of the two.
You think one of them is getting the symbiote? You think
I think a Scorpion version of a Venom symbiote looks cooler on screen. You can sell. You would talk about a hot toys, you're gonna end up getting lured into buying, Brandon.
I bought the Venomized Iron Man. That's not even MCU accurate. Venomized Hulk would be wild. I'm curious if the symbiote will even matter. You know, that Venom and what was it, Venom 2, I guess, and No Way Home had those credit scenes that kind of tried to cancel each other out. But the one little piece was left. So it's out there, but I think we get the symbiote in this movie in some way just to set up the black suit for Secret Wars.
That's what I was going to say. They're not passing up the opportunity to recreate that Secret Wars cover in the Secret Wars movie. So we might get some sort of slow burn that gets us to that, but like we are not getting the black suit, at least Peter wearing the black suit, I feel like, until then.
Yeah. Another very exciting Spider-Man news is the Spider-Verse spin-off movie. Now, I think this was reported by Deadline, but Spider-Punk is getting a movie. We might be 100 years old by the time we see it. I don't know. But Daniel Kaluuya is co-writing the film. He's going to reprise the Spider-Punk role, and it's in develop at Sony Pictures Animation. I love this news, personally. Hobie is a super entertaining character, and I'd love to see more of him on his own story.
I'm excited about this. I think it looks awesome. I like that Daniel's writing it. Curious if we're going to see that Barney movie that he's apparently working on. But yeah, like you said, like I feel like this is really exciting news, but news that is so far away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's going to be so long before we see this movie. The world's going to look like a very different place. I don't know, but I am excited about it. I think if you're going to pick anyone from that second movie, he's the one to do it.
I mean, I feel like earliest we get this movie is like 2029, 2030.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 30. Even then, it's like this feels like an announcement that would have dropped around when Across the Spider-Verse came out. Like it felt like I entered a wormhole and got that news announcement, because I remember they said they were gonna do like a Spider-Gwen spinoff around the first movie, and we've heard absolutely nothing with that since then. So development and actually making the movie are two different things. Obviously, with animation, they have to develop a lot more, and it's easier to kind of just make it a reality. But yeah, given how ambitious his animation style is, I want to see this movie. I love Hobie. I think his
Yeah.
world is very cool, but like we'll see.
The animation that follows Spider-Punk. Go ahead, Aaron.
Oh, I was gonna say like that core thing, but more weirdly to help Brandon with his selection of tinfoil hats. If you couple this with Feige saying we've been told to stay away, like for now, like we've been told to stay away from this, and you think about Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out and what Miles, obviously, one of these two companies is going to make a Miles movie before, or at least announce that Miles movie before this decade is over. Like, absolutely going to, just because they like money. Like, if you want proof of that, look at the last week of us freaking out about Tom Holland in a street standing in the costume. Like, you're going to make a Miles movie. So, in order to keep the animated franchise going, you would use Spider-Punk as a riffing point for other stuff. You know what I mean? So, I'm not going to say it's going to come out before 2029 because you can't break the speed of light, and they're having enough trouble getting the third one out already because you just can't go faster than a certain clip. I definitely think I think this is going to happen. Like, Sony knows, like, the one thing that they are good at on their own, you can say what you want about the rest of the stuff. The one thing they're really good at on their own in these animated Spider-Man movies, they're not going to want to give that up.
Yeah, I'm scared of a live-action Miles movie without Marvel Studios involvement, just because of the track record of those Sony Marvel movies. I know the first Venom made money and some people enjoyed it, but goodness gracious, those are just not really good films in that bunch. So you get one shot at introducing Miles to a mainstream audience through a live-action movie. I just really hope it's done right whenever it happens. I want to answer Eric's question here. Also, could Spidey show up in Daredevil Born Again Season 2 to tie Punisher to Spidey 4? I will also apply that to the Punisher special presentation. This feels like such a lofty thing that seems like an impossibility because of live-action Spider-Man appearing on TV and the deal that I would have to go into that. I don't know. I feel like it's possible, though, given how much Marvel is putting into the Spider-Man movie. Now, would I bet on it? I'm not confident enough to bet on it, but I'm not going to rule it out either.
I feel like at very least a post-credit scene in either of those things, like something that just bare minimum teasing it. It's like a scene they filmed during Brand New Day and they can just easily splice it in. I could see that, but I'm not seeing any sort of like significant role for him, just given, like you said, the legality of it all. Even back to like the Spider-Punk movie, I'm really curious what the supporting cast of that movie is going to look like, because Hobie in the comics, a lot of his friends and a lot of his villains are alternate versions of characters that Marvel Studios proper actually owns. So I'm very curious if that movie gets up off the ground. Do you just put like his own versions of just the Spider characters that they have rights to, or do you coordinate with Marvel and get like Kamala Khan and all of these other characters and put them in that world?
I imagine they're going to switch it up quite significantly. Scott Autry, thank you so much for the $49.99. Gotta run. Can't wait to listen to the rest of this later. Love seeing the Fab Four together. Scott, thank you, my friend. When you are listening to this later, just know we all appreciate you. And the chat lit up with W, Scott, when that came up on the screen. Isn't that right, chat? Thank you, Scott. Always tremendously supportive, my friend. Chris Hemsworth talked about that weird little goodbye video that he posted. It was interpreted as a goodbye video by us fans. He says it was misinterpreted. He told THR, it definitely got misconstrued. That was terrible. What the fuck was that, Brandon? My God, I wish I could go back and delete that from the record.
Australian? What did you just do?
I don't know. I tried to go Australian. I don't even know what that became. It would be like, "Nar, it definitely got misconstrued."
I've never heard someone mid-accent be like, "That was so bad. I'm mad at."
I was so focused on trying to go deep for like the Thor voice that I just don't even know what that accent became. I have so many regrets right now. But yeah, he said it definitely got misconstrued and perceived in a different way. Of course. I mean, that video was not a goodbye video. It wasn't.
That video was also a like featurette they put together for Love and Thunder that he just reposted with a new caption. And so that kind of got lost in the initial sauce when that whole thing came out. If anything, his caption and his message was more like, oh, this is weird. Maybe this is a goodbye. But now he's saying all of it was misconstrued. I feel like there's maybe just being vague with it until Secret Wars is said and done so that we can at least have some mystery over what's going on with him. Because I remember when this initially came out, everyone was like, oh, Thor's done. Like he's going to die in these movies. And maybe that's not the case now.
He can't die. He has a daughter to take care of.
That's
Famously, that guys and daughters live. Listen, it's like whatever. He has a chair. I don't care. He's got a chair.
maybe he just wanted a bigger role in the movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four's box office. A lot of people talking about this. If this was any other movie that wasn't a Marvel movie, it would be like, wow, that movie's crushing it. But it is a Marvel movie, and the discourse is that it had a massive drop-off at the box office in its second weekend. Let me pull up the numbers so I get this right. It won the weekend in week 2. Let's see. What was it, 66%? Is that what I'm seeing here? Did anybody go see Fantastic Four again while I pull this up?
I was supposed to see it again yesterday, but now I'm going next week, I think.
I saw it the Tuesday of last week, so that was the most recent time I've seen it.
I think I might see it one more time.
Saw it on Sunday before SummerSlam Night 2 started, so
I can't find a site that just easily breaks down the numbers here. Here we go. What's Rotten Tomatoes talking about here? $40 million in its second weekend, 10-day total, $198.4 million. This is domestic. That is a slip comparable to Thor: Love and Thunder's 67.7% drop, which managed to gross $343 million itself. Fantastic Four was in first place this weekend. Bad Guys 2 and Naked Gun were behind it, and then Superman was in fourth with another $13 million. I believe it was Superman's fourth weekend. Fourth weekend, yeah. So it is interesting that Fantastic Four is. Are these numbers comparable to Thunderbolts?
I think they're slightly higher, but
like it's
roughly
the biggest
around
Marvel movie of the year, but it's not what you would expect from a Fantastic Four movie, like especially when this movie was announced, right?
Yes. There was some reporting that people basically figured out that given the track record that F1 is currently on, including like it's getting re-released in IMAX, I think this weekend, it will probably outgross whatever Fantastic Four will ultimately gross. And this will be the first year in a very long time that there isn't a Marvel movie in, I think, the domestic top 10 for the entire year, which is very, very interesting.
What do we think causes that?
I feel like it's multifaceted, but I think it's the Disney Plus of it all. I think that is a huge portion of it. And even like Bob Iger had a quote literally right before we started the show, just where he's like, Fantastic Four, we're viewing it as a success because we mined this new IP and we introduced it to a new audience. And so I'm sure they internally are seemingly happy with it because also they're going to have the Disney Plus numbers the second that it hits streaming. But I honestly do think a good portion of the audience is conditioned to just wait for Disney Plus and doesn't want to go see something in theaters unless it is some big MCU event movie.
I think that totally makes sense. I think the first weekend crushes because it's people like us who are always going to show up. And then you've got people like my mom who's like, well, I pay for Disney Plus. I pay for that. So it's going to show up there. What's for someone like that who doesn't care about like potential like big spoilers, like she's not going to care that you see RDJ's back. Like that doesn't mean anything to her. So like, of course, she's like, well, I pay for Disney Plus. I'll wait for it to come on Disney Plus, which is sad because these movies, like, it's meant to be seen on a big screen. It looks better. It feels better. It's an experience, but I think that's part of it. It's a lot of things. We've talked about this a million times. It's expensive to go to the movies now, especially if you have a family. There's other stuff out that that's really big. There's just like a million factors, and it's interesting to see what it's affecting and what it's not affecting. But like you said, it's not failing. It's still successful. It's just not. It's a different a different level of success than what we saw 6-7 years ago.
I think that's also it, is like people thought, oh, when Marvel Studios gets the FF, they're going to be $1 billion franchise. Like it's going to be this massive thing, like pre 2019 level numbers. And I think that's just not the reality of the situation. And I do think they maybe could have marketed the movie a little bit better to the general audience and incentivized them of like, this is something you need to go see in theaters. But I think it is just performing, like you said, well enough for what they needed to.
I'm interested in all that stuff. I just think it's also like, weirdly enough, this year is so much stronger than the preceding 3 years of summer movies, just on performance alone, that maybe people ran out of money. I saw Brandon say that maybe this thing releases later in the year and it does better because it's not being released up against, like, Jamie's freaking Jurassic World opinion is really, really holding some weight right now. I think you're on track for that to out earn Superman and Fantastic Four.
Superman is on track to out earn it, actually. Like, I think they said that
domestically.
Jurassic is already
least,
at
yeah.
700 million worldwide.
That is true, but at very least domestically. But Jamie is still probably right, though, at the end of the day, though.
Yeah, that whole thing, that whole deal, I think that the Disney Plus thing is a, let's say, convenient argument for executives looking to deflect blame for things that they can't explain to a general audience that wants a solution. Which, by the way, this week for me and Jamie, the spoiler for like later to come on back when we talk about Freakier Friday. If this thing does what I think it probably is going to do, I think this is the death nail of Disney Plus original movie for sure. This is the end of that if it performs the way I think it could. But yeah, there's a bunch of things I can't really handicap it. I don't know, because people say one thing and they don't really mean that. So, like, I enjoyed the movie. I'll tell you this, I saw it with two much more casual fans on Sunday, and they're like, this is the first one of these, even with Deadpool Wolverine, that I would want to watch again at home on Disney Plus. So I don't know. It's very weird. It's a weird situation.
The mixture of response is interesting, because I was with friends who are not necessarily huge Marvel people, but they are movie people. And they were like, I heard you like Fantastic Four. I thought it was an actual terrible film. It was bad. And I was like, whoa. We are definitely in different zones. I was really surprised to hear that. Like, and not even just like, I'm willing to discuss it. This person was like, it was bad, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm like, all right, weird. So, you know, we're all in our own little pocket universe when it comes to this stuff.
I think you guys pretty much covered all of it. I mean, I do think Disney Plus is a factor. I think that's the case in a lot of places. It's crazy to me that the worst movie of the big three this month, of the month of July, is going to be the biggest movie of the month of July, probably globally. Fantastic Four and Superman are both better than Jurassic.
I'm writing a review of the pickup right now for freaking hashtag show. And if you look on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got dog, you know what reviews. And I'm like, when Monday comes out and this thing is the most watched thing on Prime Video this month, I'm gonna throw Rotten Tomatoes into the ocean forever. It doesn't mean anything anymore, unfortunately.
So yeah, Fantastic Four has surpassed Thunderbolts at the domestic box office already. By the way, I wanted to point that out because I was unsure earlier. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It makes me wonder about Doomsday, because that is an expensive movie. And that puts a lot of weight on Spider-Man to get people excited, in my opinion, because I don't think Fantastic Four really did that like Days of Old used to. The Doom tease was the equivalent of Thanos in the first Avengers, but then Thanos had 6 more years of small teases and media telling stories for the MCU, whereas now the MCU has 1.5 years and one movie to make Doom an event, besides people who already are obsessed with Marvel and Doom and all this stuff, like everybody on here.
It is a fact, though, that like people will see the word Avengers and they're gonna like it's not gonna make Endgame money. There's absolutely no way. But I do think that just having Avengers in the title, unfortunately, like people, you know, it's we'll like see. The red alert. But is that movie gonna make $1 billion? Absolutely not. There's no way.
I think the conversation is more, even if it makes $1 billion, is how does that stack up against the amount of money that's been put into it? is going to be my question. When you're giving RDJ a dump truck full of money, like that is a whole separate conversation, I feel like.
Yeah.
Let's get to next year's Comic-Con and see what they do. I think that's going to determine a lot of this, because I think you're going to get your second batch of chairs then.
I just hope it's great. I just hope it's really good. All right, let's switch over to DC. It's been a little quiet over there. Jenna, what's going on in DC land?
Not a whole lot, which is honestly kind of a good thing. Like, I know we talked about it a lot on the show last week about just how much of an impression Peacemaker made at San Diego, and we're kind of in the home stretch getting ready to season 2 premiering. So really outside of that, there hasn't been a whole lot. It's just James has been on Threads. He debunked a rumor about the Teen Titans movie roster, because there have been a lot of rumors flying around about what combination of characters will make up the team, if it's the original Fab Five roster, if it's the roster from the animated show. And his answer was, anything you've heard about that movie is made up or a guess. No one in the world knows anything about the concept for the story except for 4 people. And then he also was asked about Hush being in the Batman Part 2, and said it's a very similar sort of thing of like nobody who is reporting on it actually knows it. So what do you guys think?
I think I don't know anything about Teen Titans or the Batman too.
I think people should stop making shit up on the internet, is what I think. Get a life. Stop making stuff up. My God.
Troy Farley pointing out a great point here. James Gunn and Jenna share a birthday week this year. Big W. You know, actually, Troy, that happens every year.
Yeah, like most years. That's just how weeks work. But that is true. Thank you for acknowledging it at least.
Oh, happy birthday, Jenna, almost.
Thank
Friday,
you.
everybody. Bombard Jenna on Friday with birthday love.
Yes. But yeah, I like that we know nothing. And Anna, who is writing the script for Teen Titans, is also working on Wonder Woman. James has kind of made it sound like she pivoted over to Wonder Woman because that is more pressing for them. So I like that the movie is still just kind of being percolating in the background. I also feel like Brave and the Bold is a huge part of it, of like what that movie looks like, what the cast of that movie looks like, and then which of those Robins may or may not end up in Teen Titans. But I'm glad we don't know anything really.
I prefer it that way right now. I want to know what I need to know. I used to want to know everything. I've changed my ways. Sometimes I want to know. Sometimes I'm just along for the ride. And we'll ride that thing all the way to the next time we see Superman.
Yeah.
I want to know less, always. Less.
Tell us enough to make good podcast episodes, but don't ruin anything.
That is
Figure
true.
it out.
Yes.
Tyra Banks voice.
James was also asked what he's up to at the moment, and his answer was Peacemaker press and sequel writing, which then everyone took as, oh my God, it's a Superman sequel. This is fully a Superman sequel. And obviously, as we've talked about on the show previously, he hasn't been quick to call it that. He's kind of said it as a continuation. It is not necessarily strictly Superman 2. And so he did elaborate, and he said that Superman has a major role, but it is not Superman 2. He also said it is a ways off from being officially announced, whatever this project ultimately is.
So is it World's Finest?
I'm leaning more honestly to some sort of like Justice League thing. Like the more that I sit with it and the more that I think about it, him saying Superman has a major role, but it's not necessarily a straightforward Superman movie. I could see it being something Justice Gang, Justice League International, Justice League related. Like I would not rule that out.
Jamie.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just don't make the same mistakes they made last time, is all I gotta say, which I don't think they will, but just keep it in mind. Maybe sometimes a slow burn is better. But I do
my
think...
money's... Go
ahead. Nope, that was it.
I was going to say my money's on Superman the Authority.
Oh, you think the Authority's getting a rework with Superman in it?
I mean, there's the big story. One of the better modern versions of involving those characters has Superman as a massive part of it. And his characterization in the first movie feels like an even funnier direct response to an idea like the Authority or the Boys.
That's interesting because I feel like the reason why they've said the Authority movie itself has stalled is because they couldn't crack the story and they couldn't crack how to make that team work in the Boys world. So I mean, I wouldn't rule that out, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually like just other characters that already exist in this universe and not just a full-fledged Authority.
Like, what if you did it like it was Superman the Elite versus the Elite? Corn Sweat would kill that in live
That
action.
is true. I mean, he would kill anything.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good boy. Go Birds.
Brandon's just thinking.
Superman is an Eagles fan confirmed. Oh, wait, sorry. Eagles fan confirmed. Well, chat, what do you think? What is the Superman movie sequel that is not really a sequel but heavily involves Superman that James Gunn is working on? Drop it in the chat. It could even be a wish list. We like seeing your ideas. But now it's time to talk about my Roman Empire. I am so excited for Wicked for Good. I don't think you understand. I wish I could play this trailer on the show, but the video would get copyright stricken. I haven't even watched this yet, but a new teaser came out today, and I'm very, very excited for Wicked. Oh my god, look at this.
As someone like with right here a For Good tattoo, like the idea of BD being like, "This is my shit, man. This is my oh yeah," is like so beautiful to me. Like,
I know.
It makes me so happy. Like what I like if you would have said like a year ago that this is what we'd be talking about is like BD freaking like yeah, Alpha Law. It really brings me a lot of joy. I will tell you though, I think the posters suck. Like what are we doing? Like they look like garbage, and I really feel like poster art is really losing the art form of it the more we go on, because the like Ariana Grande's one looks just bizarre. But I don't care. I'm so hyped for this movie. I'm like, it's my number one anticipated of the year. Let's go.
This movie's gonna make me cry so hard. I know it.
To your point, Jamie, like Chris, my husband, asked me, he was like, should I watch this new video or am I going to get too spoiled on what happens in the movie? Because I don't want to get spoiled. And I'm like, a year ago, he did not even care about this movie in any way, shape, or form. Like, I love that this is the reality that we're in where the men in our lives give a shit about Wicked because it is delightful.
I'm so glad I have Chris and BD because Tony was not about it. I made Tony watch it. Sadly, we couldn't convert Tony to a Wicked fan. But You know what? That's okay. What can you do?
I was talking to a friend about, I don't know if this is I haven't seen the musical of Wicked, so I have no idea what's going to happen in Wicked for Good. Truthfully, I have no idea. I was talking to a friend about how much I love Wicked, and she said to me, I don't know if this is because it really put a seed in my head that made me start thinking about something as if, because this friend had not seen Wicked the movie, but loves the musical, and asked a question about one major character. And I was like, wait a second.
Well, they don't say here. Ask us backstage and we'll
yeah. Okay. I'll save it. But it started wheels turning and I was like, wait a second. This character has a significance in a way more than what I already thought.
It probably does, but there's a lot of that. Like, don't overthink it, because like you're gonna be like shook.
Yes,
watch this movie.
The less you know, the better.
Yeah,
I cannot wait for this movie. It's my most anticipated for the rest of the year. Now that Superman and F4 are out of the way, Wicked is top of the charts, #1 rest of the year.
Aaron's just silently like.
It's just funny. I don't know. It's funny. I'm the same place as BD is. I had no idea what happens in the second half of this musical. I have no clue. And I don't want to know.
Jamie and I are cursed with knowledge.
Oh my god.
All right, Thanos.
There's so many jokes I want to make, but I'm gonna hold a bit.
Wicked nice of you to not spoil it for me. Matt Smith is the villain in Star Wars Starfighter. Justice for Milo. A couple super chats we got to get to real quick. Dancing Dog 60. What up, Dancing Dog? We love that profile picture. Great show. Question for you, phasers. On a movie date night, do you prefer a dine-in theater or going out after the show to discuss the film with a meal? I almost fell asleep.
I know Jamie's thoughts.
After a beer. I think Jamie has thoughts, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think Jamie and I are going to agree on this.
Absolutely not a dine-in theater. Because I'm not a big fan of dine-in theaters in general because there's so much hustle and bustle. I don't think you should be ordering food in the middle of a movie. I think dine-in theaters are great for like classic films. Like if there's a movie you love that's like re-released in theaters, like I saw Batman Forever at the Alamo and that was so much fun. But if it's like a new movie and you're trying to soak it in, yes, I think that just in general. But especially for a date, especially like if you're going on a date, you absolutely like that's why movies dates are as old as time, because it gives you like a little something to talk about after. Go get a drink, go get a cup of coffee, go get dinner. Don't do it all at once. That's crazy. Also, I'm sorry if I'm on a date, like especially a first date, and I'm like, here's my chicken wings. Like, no, that's crazy. I think absolutely don't eat on a date in a movie because you have a reason to prolong the date. Now, if you're not liking how the date's going, I can't help you. I don't know what to tell you.
I agree with you. Like, I'm all for eating like popcorn during the movie if it's just a normal
Yeah.
movie theater, obviously. But like, yeah, I don't go to Alamo unless, like you said, it's an older movie, or like I saw Barbie for the umpteenth time at an Alamo Draft House, and it was like, well, this is worth it. But yeah, you have to prolong it. Like the conversation after a movie where you just get to talk about the movie that you just saw over food, nothing beats that.
I'm all
Also,
for a dine-in date. I'm all for a dine-in date.
Yeah, of course.
But
You
also
have a busy
talking about,
schedule.
the vast majority of the talking has to happen after the movie, but it's okay. I feel like dine-in etiquette is a little bit different from regular theater etiquette. You can kind of to each other a little bit in a dine-in. What do you need? What are you ordering? You want this? You want that? Because the waiter's opening. There's talking. There's a little bit of talk. Listen, it's dine-in. It's a little bit different. It's a date night. You
can't still talk though. Like Alamo Draft House is a food one, and they are so strict. Alamo will kick you out if you're talking and if you're on your phone, and they are a dine-in. So don't listen to that. BD did not just say you can talk in a theater. I didn't hear it, and we're gonna move on.
Oh goodness.
Eric Z, thank you so much for the 2. BD, that sounds like an Australian in Glasgow. We're moving on from that, but thank you for the 2. That never happened. Fit Dad, Dave, what's up, dude? I just need to thank you for the 20. I need to know what Thor was crying about in Deadpool and Wolverine, damn it. Yeah, we're all trying to find that one out. I pray they pay that off. Pray to the Marvel gods. Arishem, please make sure they pay that off. Anyway, Naked Gun is out.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Star Wars. You mentioned it for 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't have much to say about that. So if you guys have anything, go ahead.
It is just funny. It's funny because he was supposed to be in Rise of Skywalker. Like the writing on the wall was that he was supposed to be Palpatine or a character very much like him, and then he got left on the cutting room floor. So at least now he's playing a villain in a Star Wars movie in some way.
He was so much supposed to be in that movie that like even when it was out, we were all like trying to find him. Like, oh, is that Matt Smith? Is that Matt Smith? So like, I'm glad that his time has come. But I also worry because a lot of times when Matt Smith shows up in a franchise movie, it sucks.
I thought the same thing.
It's not his fault. He's an incredible, amazing, wonderful, good-looking man and a fantastic actor. But like, for some reason, he's got bad luck.
Everything other than Doctor Who, like every other franchise he's been in, has not panned out really well.
Hey, Daniel, we're going to send love to Daniel real quick. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Daniel. But Daniel Zambrano, longtime Phase Hero community member. We love you, my friend. Lost my mom this week. Thankful for you guys to help me get through this week. Hey, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm really glad your mom had a wonderful son in you, Daniel, because you've always been a bright light in the comment section on our Phase Hero community. We're sorry for the loss, but hey, we're all thinking of you right now. Sending love to Daniel, everybody. Everybody in the chat, please extend some love to Daniel and the Zambrano family. Thank you, Daniel, for being a part of our community. All right. Can we go to Naked Gun now?
Yes.
Complete opposite tone, because what a funny movie that is. I've shared my thoughts on it, but the director debrief is available now on audio platforms. But what did you guys think of Naked Gun? This movie made $17 million, pretty solid for a comedy that I don't think was crazy expensive to make either.
I will always evangelize about Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping, which is Akiva's previous movie before this. I think it is the best comedy of the decade that it came out in, and I think this is comparable to it. Like, I did not expect this to be the funniest movie that I would see this year by far. Seeing it in a actual theater with people reacting and absolutely losing their minds to stuff, like, that was such a special feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. And I can't wait for Jamie to talk about it, because there's a funny story behind Jamie seeing it.
Yeah, well, first I want to say being in a packed theater on a Monday night for like an absurdist comedy is so beautiful. Like, it just made me feel like nature is healing in a brand new way. I think it's the second funniest movie of the 2020 so far after Barb and Star. I like, what a delightful, hilarious movie that I can't wait to see again, because with all the laughter and the joke a second, I know I missed stuff. But the best was on Friday night, I was sitting at the Hollywood Bowl about to see Cynthia Erivo be Jesus, which was that, talk about life-changing. Our friend Joe texted Tony and said, there's a joke in Naked Gun Jamie's gonna love. And then literally 2 minutes later, Jenna texted the Face Hero group chat. There's back-to-back jokes in Naked Gun that Jamie's gonna love. And what was fun was watching the movie. I knew I'm not gonna say, but I knew exactly what jokes like Jenna, the 2 in a row that Jenna was talking about, which was like so much fun to be like, I can't believe that these jokes are in this movie and that these words are coming out of Liam Neeson's mouth. Like it just felt so like incredible. I just like it's hard. Comedy's hard. It's the most subjective genre. We all laugh at different things. And so for a movie like this, that's just ridiculous to be making a little money, to be getting great reviews. Honestly, I thought it was going to make more. Like it's not to say it didn't do well. It absolutely did. But I like a part of me was like, this could win the weekend. And it did not even come close to winning the weekend. But you absolutely see it with a crowd, please, because it's infectious. You'll walk out so happy.
It is hilarious. There's a few jokes in there that I was like, man, this movie's pretty fearless with the humor too. Like everybody's like, oh, comedy's dead. Like, no, it ain't. They just got to have smart. What's so funny about Naked Gun is it is like such a stupid, funny movie, but you have to be so smart to tell these jokes, if that makes sense. Is that, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's such a silly movie.
One of the jokes that I think you're referring to, like in any other context, it would not land at all, but they found the perfect avenue through which to address it and just make it so funny. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I think Akiva and the team that wrote this did such a great job writing this movie. It's so funny. 85 minutes, the same exact runtime of the original Naked Gun movie.
I think it's also interesting and worth noting that like all the stars of this movie aren't like comedy people. Like, you know, like it's not like they pulled a bunch of SNL actors or whatever. Like we've got Liam Neeson and like Pamela Anderson. These are not people known for comedy. Even Paul Walter Hauser, a very funny man, but he's not known for comedy. And I think that makes it in a way funnier. They don't have the same kind of comedic brain as funny people do. And because of what Naked Gun is, I think it works really well. I wouldn't always say that. Sometimes I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? But in this case, I think it works beautifully.
And Tom asking, do I need to see the previous movies? No, not at all. I mean, if you have, like, there are homage moments paid to those that you'll be like, oh, cool. But I think those only land if you have like a nostalgic affinity for the Naked Gun movies, and it won't hit as well because you just watched them. You in no way need to watch the other Naked Gun movies, but recommend. They're funny.
Fun. Yeah, like fun to do. There's a bit in the first one that really, oh my, and you just have fun, make yourself laugh. Go watch.
Also, stay through the credits, like the entire credits, because the actual credits themselves are very funny.
I didn't pay attention at the first time.
Man.
I was too busy like turning to my friends and saying like, was I alone in thinking that was hilarious? And talking about the movie in the theater, you know, as one does sometimes. Oops. Sorry, Jimmy.
Well, when the credits are rolling, it's fine.
Well, I'm scared.
Don't make me a villain on this, BD, because if you want to turn me into a villain, I'll become one. I will.
No, I think the whole world is on your side. I'm the bad guy here. Dexter Harris says, Faye's amazing. Thanks for the 5, Dexter. Cool PFP, by the way. And Alex Lean says, I believe Superman will appear in Booster Gold with a $1.99. Alex, appreciate the super chat. Superman and Booster Gold, that could be interesting. They got to cast Booster Gold. They got a lot of work to do on the Booster Gold series.
Yeah, that show is still a ways away. Like they just got a new showrunner literally the day before Comic-Con. So I would not rule that out, but I feel like it is a way, way, way down the line.
Yeah. Before we get to Eyes of Wakanda, let's do like a quick little sign off just in case anybody ends their episode with us here. I just want to say the Freakier Friday stuff is available now on the YouTube channel. It's going to be on podcast platforms Friday, but I think it works better in visual form because my mom switched with me and interviewed Jamie Lee Curtis, Sophia Hammonds, Chad Michael Murray, and Manny Jacinto. And it's really funny. The Manny Jacinto, Chad Michael Murray clips will be going up later this week at the time of recording. They're not published yet, but genuinely that came together so last minute. It was the night before the junket. The opportunity came up and I was like, can I put my mom in there? Disney made it happen, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity, and I think those clips are going to perform really well. I think people are having a lot of fun watching them. So I just wanted to plug that real quick. Jenna, for anybody who might be hopping off at this point, anything you want to share?
It's at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media. As always, go read some comics and go subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is at Go Read Some Comics. I just posted a video yesterday about Green Arrow and the fact that there is a surprising amount of Green Arrow news that has come out in the past couple weeks, and I'm very proud of how that video turned out. So go check it out.
Jamie?
Go see Freakier Friday this weekend. Like, yes. Seriously, take your mom, take your bestie. I'm going again with my best friend tomorrow. Like, I can't express how much I loved Freakier Friday, like on a deep level. So do that. And when you do, don't take your phones out. And you know what? If you want to talk, just think deep and hard about if that's the right decision to do.
If you dine in for Freaky Hero Friday on a date,
Jesus Christ.
whisper to each other a little bit. It's okay. If you have Aaron.
You just derailed me before I even got started. It's at Something Horror on all platforms. How to watch free.tv, free space. Tomorrow, I have Jamie's other half, who also hates when people talk in the theater, Tony Paletto, on a special episode of Free Space, where we're talking about movies. Tony's selections are tremendous, including a movie I should not have seen as young as I did, that quote unquote effed up one of y'all evenings, Jamie, which I can't wait for people to hear about. Phase Hero Civil War. It really is. Whose side are you on?
I'm alone on the island of relevancy. Paul Heyman. Put your ones up. All right, the show doesn't actually end. That's just going to be a stop. Like even the audio form, if you're listening, it's obviously still playing. I just wanted to give people, if you're leaving because you don't want to hear Eyes of Wakanda spoilers, a chance to pop out. But this is now officially Eyes of Wakanda spoiler territory. All 4 episodes are available now, despite most people in the world seemingly not being made aware of that. And we are going to talk about it. So you know the drill. We're going to go with reactions, some quick thoughts on the show, and then a 10 score. And you know, like a discussion about these 4 episodes. Jenna, what'd you think of Eyes of Wakanda?
I mourn the world where this show got to be a moment. It is beautiful. It is so interesting. Like, the concepts in some of these episodes are just so fascinating, especially within the context of the MCU and just in like Wakanda as a concept. I was so glad that it existed, but like you kind of just teased, it's not even registering for most people. Like I didn't even watch it until Sunday and it came out on Friday, which feels crazy if you told me in like 2021 that I would wait 48 hours to start watching a new MCU thing. But I think the show itself is great. I just wish like more and more people were even aware of it.
Jamie, what about you?
I really liked it. I feel the same way of like, why are they dumping this? Why are they hiding this? Because it is good. I will say though, I was expected to be like, well, they did it with Ironheart, so I'm gonna love it as much as Ironheart, and I didn't. I don't see myself watching this again. But also, I want to say that it had an extreme disadvantage where the days before I binged all of Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix, which I loved and is like standalone animated shorts. So like I was coming off of that, and I think that kind of hindered this a bit. I loved like the backdrop animation, and I a lot in Eyes of Wakanda. I love the way that the story's connected, but there were moments where I was just like, you know, especially with the Troy episode, because I know that story so well. I was like, it's fun that they're inserting it, but I would have rathered a whole new thing than giving me Achilles, basically. But I liked it.
Aaron, what'd you think?
I knew that Todd and them were really proud of this show, and Ryan were really proud of this show, and was hoping for good and got a little bit better. I mean, I also am sad that this did not drop before Comic-Con, because I would have seen a Last Panther rolling around for sure by now. Someone has figured it out. Someone's doing it right now. But yeah, I so pleasantly surprised, so happy that such a thing exists. When they said on that stage with Brandon almost 2 years ago now, like that, it's the only thing connected to the MCU, for it to actually cash out and be real is bananas. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with the 4 episodes.
Yeah, I love the show. I didn't watch it until this morning. Honestly, that's why we were late. I've been just trying to catch up on Comic-Con video edits and all kinds of work and booking next things because I was so busy in July that I didn't book August opportunities. But as a result, and combined with the feeling of this just not having a sense of urgency to watch, which I think is due to the marketing and complete lack thereof, I didn't watch it till today. And I pressed play and I was like, this is fucking good. It's really good. The visuals are the first thing that stand out, which is what we've been raving about ever since we first saw the footage at D23's Marvel Animation panel, which was an honor to host. And Jamie was there, by the way. She was at D23. But yeah, there was just so much excitement about this project at the time. And it feels like, 2 weeks ago, they were like, yeah, it's coming out next week, by the way. And it just kind of happened. And that was very odd. I think that maybe it's a product of the marketing shift, just trying to focus on movies and not have Marvel cross-pollination diluting the bigger titles that they try to prioritize because they can literally sell tickets to them. But it is a shame that this is flying under the radar, and I do think it's going to get discovered over time by people, and I hope it does, because it like the backdrops, like the backdrop animation reminded me like Batman the Animated Series is so beautiful, and you can see how they have these like plates that they're then animating the characters on top of, and it felt like the Marvel Rivals world. Just and Wakanda, and just the animation was gorgeous. The episodes were all really good. I think they tackled like real world subjects and Wakandan history and things like that really gracefully and poignantly in a lot of instances. And it just was I was really impressed with Eyes of Wakanda overall. The Odyssey meets the MCU. I mean, what do you mean? Kind of, not really. Troy meets the MCU.
I loved the fourth episode. Like the connections in the fourth episode were really cool.
Let's start there. Fourth episode ties up the whole series in a very what if kind of way, in a very traditional Marvel Studios, Marvel TV kind of way, by having references to all of the 3 previous episodes, but also live action Black Panther stories in the MCU, implying that Killmonger has to take the axe in order to set a series of events in motion for Wakanda to open it up to itself to the outside world, or else it will be, the whole world will perish in the next 500 years. I'm reciting that right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was awesome. I thought that was great. I recognized the axe immediately. I was like, that has to be the axe that Killmonger took in that museum in the beginning of Black Panther. And it was. And I thought that was really a really clever way to do it. And I thought it felt like a neater way to tie things up than what we see in like What If, how you'd see little pieces of the previous episodes tied up in finales. I really liked what this episode did with the fourth and final story.
The Killmonger of it all was so cool to me, especially because, since that movie has come out, people have been like, is he really a villain? Is he just an antagonist? And like now knowing of like, no, he was like predestined to find this thing, like him finding that thing literally changes the course of history. I love that stuff. I also just like, I personally adore the cosmic Black Panther stuff that got introduced in the comics within the past decade. And I've always wanted to get to a point of seeing that in the MCU of like, maybe that's like the 3rd Black Panther movie or whatever. And I was glad we could see snippets of that here of like what Wakanda would look like 500 years from now. I thought that was really cool.
I like Miss Noni Rose getting to be a Black Panther again is so freaking cool. It's just so cool. It's such a awesome, silly thing that I'm like, this shouldn't matter. This is not the point of the episode, but I will always smile at like the Black Disney princess getting to be a Black Panther again, because she was a Black Panther in like Avengers Assemble in like season 5 for like an episode. She was like a pirate. She did an adventure with Thor, but this is much more real because it's in like the main MCU timeline. Also, episode 4 is so MCU pilled in so many weird different ways. Like Tafari might as well say exactly something. Well, we do here echoes throughout history, just like Chad. There's like other funny stuff when they're tag teaming the last Panther. It's literally Captain America and Bucky against freaking Tony. Like there was
I wasn't alone in catching that, right? That was definitely clearly like an homage to Tony Stark getting jumped by those 2 assholes, right?
Right.
Team Iron Man.
We're not starting that. We're not starting that conversation.
Can you start that conversation? No.
I have a question for you guys because there's one thing about the show that bothered Tony that did not bother me, and there's one thing that bothered me and didn't bother Tony. So I want to pose these to you. Tony was really struggling with the technology, he's like, okay, where we've gone too far when they're in this era and they're flying in a ship. At one point, he literally like under his breath was like, I gotta talk to Aaron about this. Like, and my thing is that's Wakanda. They've always had like crazy technology that even back then, like they've always been so ahead of the curve. Do you guys think they overstepped, or do you think this is just par for the course with Wakanda?
I do think it was kind of convenient. Like there was always some sort of MacGuffin. There was always some sort of technology that could immediately get them out of whatever was going on in the particular episode. But yeah, I also feel like Wakanda history in the MCU has been just so unexplored. Like we don't know at what point they got certain pieces of technology, but I can see why Tony would be bothered by that.
So since it's modeled after, like, I guess our world, I remember like back in like middle school, like hearing about stuff that would come out of tech at like CES or Tokyo Game Show or whatever, and feeling like our friends across the oceans were living in the future while we were not. So I guess if you have a very advanced, like, you know, like society in these other times, they would have such crazier technology. The thing that was so interesting to me was, I don't know if it's in Black Panther. I think TJ brought this up while I was on Agents of Fandom. Like, didn't Shuri either make or refine those trains?
I don't remember, but when I saw those monorails underground, I was like, hold on a second.
Yep.
You're right.
But I didn't think like this doesn't exist. I didn't have like a plot hole thought of it. I was like, but how did these get here this long ago? But
Right.
I just think Wakanda's always been advanced.
That's what I said. Okay, now here's what bothered me. Posing this to you guys. So when the first episode started, I was like, this is violent. Look at all the blood. People are getting thrown with swords and stuff. And then there was a kiss that they cut away from. And I'm like, I'm sorry, is this for kids or not? Like, we can have all this bloodshed, but we can't see a kiss. And Tony was like, it didn't feel like they were censoring it. It just felt like an artistic choice. And I'm sorry, I want my artistic eyeballs to see some kissing. I want to see some kissing. So I don't know. Did this bother anybody else?
I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot there was a kiss in that episode. So maybe you're onto something, because if they had lingered on it, I would have remembered it.
I like this comment from Stamina Homie in the 1800s with a pager of sorts was a bit nuts. I thought the pager technology was pretty cool though, how it was done. I would like to see that device used in live action in the MCU. Like, it's like this old school retro futuristic thing Wakanda has held onto as something only they know how to use. Like, if you need to send, you know, communication in covert, which is all the war dogs do, I thought that would be kind of cool.
The live action Black Panther 3 is going to happen, and then Shuri's going to send them a JPEG through a bird. This is MCU canon, so this means there is an Iron Fist in the MCU history that has defeated Shao-Lao in Kunlun, presumably, to become the Iron Fist. I mean, a long time ago, but anybody have any thoughts on Iron Fist being in the MCU?
I feel like that conversation is going to be much more interesting a year from now when Born Again Season 2 comes out. But again, like, the Iron Fist of it all is another reason why I'm like, I wish this show got to have a moment, because given the years and years of people being in the trenches waiting for Iron Fist crumbs, it's like we finally have an entire episode that is about an Iron Fist in the MCU's history, and it's just kind of out there.
I got a good laugh out of that's it. That's all you have to do. We kind of just talked about it. I really was tickled by that, and she was just cool. Like Aaron said, there's so many cool things we could have seen at Comic-Con. Like, a lot of different cool costumes that they robbed us of.
The Lion, people would have been dressed as the Lion, who, by the way, is voiced by Black Lightning actor Cress Williams.
Yep.
It was nice to hear his voice too. I was like, dang, man.
New York Comic-Con, show up, everybody. Wear the Eyes of Wakanda suits. There was a Bast reference. Bast is, of course, a Wakandan god that has been referenced throughout, you know, the MCU. What else did I write down here? Noni got an eye patch, very Nick Fury-esque. Have Underground in Wakanda, which was a reference to the monorails. I was going to talk about that. There's a line that's whatever it takes, which just obviously echoes how a lot of MCU characters have their parallels. Agamemnon, presumably, or Memnon being short for Agamemnon. And the Watcher shows up late in that ending. That's pretty much all the stuff I had written down. Was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about on Eyes of Wakanda?
Funko Pop Portraits has a good question that I didn't even think about.
This one, future Black Panther mentioned the heart-shaped herb. Do you think by the 2300s they've regrown it or still using Shuri's synthetic formula? Ooh, I think they have a person made of elements that could turn their hand into anything, and they turn it into a heart-shaped herb. That's great, because there was none left on Earth. I have no idea. I don't even know if they thought about that.
Yeah.
I would imagine they did, but I don't know.
That's one thing I wanted to mention is this the first time we got an Nihilist wave, any kind of mention in MCU ever?
Absolutely,
like,
yes.
The Horde?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like, what?
It became Helldivers in there. Starship Troopers in Wakanda with those aliens coming at them. So yeah, I think we all agree Eyes of Wakanda is pretty great. Look at that. All right, chat, drop your 10 scores in the comments. We're going to go around with ours and get the official Phase Hero score. Jenna, where are you at?
I gave this a 3.5 on Letterboxd, but a 7 feels way too low. I think I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay. Jamie?
I didn't log this on Letterboxd. Didn't feel like a Letterboxd log, but now maybe I'll rethink it. I would have given it a 3.5, which averages to a 7, and a 7 does work for me. So I'm gonna say 7.
Okay. Aaron?
I give it an 8 on Ages of Fandom, so I'm gonna do that here. Like, obviously, there's like a tier of the other Marvel animation I feel like is stronger, and it's funny because I feel like if this thing was 6 or 8 episodes, it would be higher than an 8. And that
Nobody wants a
is-
decimal point? Nobody wants a
No.
decimal point?
No,
Just me. That's fine.
Just you.
We've
That's
been
fine.
podcasting for over an hour. I think we're just trying to keep it simple.
That's fine.
I
That's
got
fine.
7% left on my computer.
I'll go first.
7%.
I'll go first with the decimal point. I'll give it an 8.2, and I'll be the highest on it. I thought Eyes of Wakanda was great. I really liked how they packed a lot of story into a short time, made it pay off really well, and visually was just astounding, which brings us to a Phase Hero average score of a 7.8 out of 10 for Eyes of Wakanda. And our chat is going 8, 8.5, 6, 9 out of 10 from Brandon Moore. Stephanie says 7.8, 8.5, 9.5, 8.5. So a lot of high praises here. One lower mark there. But Eyes of Wakanda, pretty universally appreciated here. Let's wrap it up here. Jenna, any last words for today's show?
It's at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media. As always, go read some comics and go subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is at Go Read Some Comics.
Jamie?
Yeah, follow me on Letterboxd, Instagram at Jamie Girac. Go to the movies. Don't take out your phone. Today is the last day of the first big round of the America's Favorite Couple contest. So go and vote for Tony and I, because if we make it through to tomorrow, we're in the finals. So really exciting stuff. Reminder that there's a link in my Instagram bio that you can vote so that we can win and be America's favorite couple.
Aaron Perrine?
It's at Summer Lake Hornet on all platforms, at How to Watch Free TV. Go look at me on Instagram talking to Michelle Yeoh about doing stuff with A24 for Naja 2, which is massive. And boy, howdy, I do not envy the Oscar voters that have to deal with freaking animation this year. That is going to be horrifying to vote in.
Brandon, are you sure you want your personal Facebook on screen as you're doing this? For the audio listener, he's trying to vote for Jamie and Tony while we're on air.
I made it. I copy and paste the link to here so that I can. A good call on taking it off because it just showed my email address.
Whoops.
Didn't want you to get doxxed.
Good call. Good call. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Go vote for Jamie. Go subscribe to everybody's YouTube channels. Play our show for your dad. Play it for your cat. Go leave a positive comment about my mom interviewing Jamie Lee Curtis, and stay tuned to watch her flirt with Chad Michael Murray. Highly recommend going to see Naked Gun and or Freakier Friday this weekend if you want a good time, if you like fun, which you should. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
You